Hello. Well, today I'd like to talk about what's under here, which is a future steampunk project. You can probably see through here, it's a piece of furniture that I bought a while ago but was delivered yesterday. Obviously, I'm not going to be showing you everything I'm doing with it right now because I haven't done it yet, but I'm just going to show you what it is that I've got and what it is that I am planning for it. So, this is a reproduction piece of furniture, probably intended to look sort of Victorian, probably actually made in the 1980s or 90s, based on what it actually is, which is it is a stereo unit. So this opens up and you've got a slide out for a record player. I will just drop the camera down so you can see a little bit what's in the cupboards down here. So if we open these cupboards up, that I've just test fitted into there. And obviously that's got the holder for 12-inch vinyl records. But it makes a fairly attractive looking piece of furniture altogether, but it's not quite going to be staying like this. Main problems I have with this: doesn't look steampunk. These drawers, I'm not sure if this is how well this comes across in video, but in reality these look really fake. So what I intend to do is that this just here, this whole section with the drawers on that folds up, I'm going to be taking off, and instead I'll be putting a glazed front into it. And this will probably down here be staying pretty much as is. I am probably going to put a record player into here. I've got a few ideas about that, which I'll talk about a little bit later. The cupboard underneath. Now, the space inside this cupboard is very, very tight. The cupboard's 17 inches wide. Most stereo components, standard width ones, are 17 inches wide, so it's a very, very tight fit. So one thing that I probably will do is I'll probably knock this back panel out to get some better ventilation in here. But then the other cupboard, that's probably pretty much going to stay as it is. I might take this insert out, I'm not sure, to make it a little bit more usable. The front doors are fine. Few dings and scratches on the base, which I should easily be able to sort out. This bit that I'm going to be removing here has got a few more issues. There's a few bits of the actual moulding. There's a bit missing there. There's a big dint in it there. There was another fault on it somewhere, but I can't spot it now. The top is in very good condition, apart from some glue, because the charity that I bought this from decided it was a good idea to stick a delivery label straight onto the polished top of it. Why on earth they couldn't just stick it on the back, I've no idea. A few scratches and dings again to fix, but the top itself is very smooth. There's no water damage to it or anything that I can't fix. I have turned this whole unit over, had a look underneath. There is also no maker's marks on it, so I've no idea who made this. It appears to be a mix of solid timber and veneers, and where they are veneers, they do appear to be veneered onto other timber, not veneered onto chipboard. So it's obviously quite a high quality piece. I think it's walnut, the front veneer, but somebody probably knows better than me on that. Okay, so just looking over this, you can see the top is in very good shape. There is a little bit of glue here, probably not visible on camera. Piano hinge across there to allow the top to lift. This section here, which is the fake draw fronts, I'm going to take off. What I intend to have is a thin wooden frame made in the same sort of timber, and then a piece of glass bevel edged cuts to go into there. A couple of lifting handles on the side. I might even reuse some of these handles. And then in here, I am probably going to put a turntable in here. I don't currently have a turntable. I do have a few vinyl records that I don't currently have anything to play them on. So I am probably going to put a turntable in here. What I'm thinking is I'm going to buy a second-hand turntable and then cut a lot of the plastic surround away and expose the mechanism to go into here. I'm also planning to put inside here a couple of fake valve amplifiers. So there'll be a lot of old amplifier and radio valves lit from underneath with LED lights. I'm also going to put into there something that I've seen online, which is something called an excitron, which is it's a mercury arc rectifier, grid controlled, and basically it has a very bright blue light inside that flashes in time to the music. Now, I'm not going to put real ones in, partly because they're very, very rare, mainly because I don't much fancy handling things that are made of very, very thin glass, filled with a lot of liquid mercury, filled with mercury vapor, and run off several thousand volts at about 25 amps each. Now, some of you are probably going to ask, why am I going for fake valve amplifiers? Why not use real valve amplifiers? Nobody, as far as I know, makes a 5.1 or 7.1 surround amp that uses valves. So I'm going to go down the route of a couple of fake valve amplifiers and then a modern amp inside, because one of the main changes I'm going to be making to this unit is, if I drop this down, I'm going to be building up from the back here a mount to put a flat screen television onto the top of it. That will be framed in walnut to match the unit. The screen will, but it will be mounted probably on a standard television mount so it can swivel and pivot out of the unit. Now, I've proved, as you've seen, that I can fit a surround amp in here. That one that's in there is from about the 1990s. It's an old one. It's got a dead channel, as I say. I'm not sure if I can fix it or not yet. It also isn't HDMI supported, so it's not great. I'm not sure if I'm keeping it or not. Other changes I'm going to be making to this, as I say, I might knock the back out of that cupboard to improve the ventilation around the components. I'm going to be putting, you can get what are called infrared IR remote control extenders, so that I can essentially operate the equipment inside without having to open the doors. I can just operate it from the remote controls. That'll be going into there. I might put some gauges in the centre of these doors. I'd be interested to know what people's opinion is on that, whether to put a couple of sort of 4-inch boarding gauges, one in the middle of each door. I have had this idea that if I put gauges in there, I might put some VU meters inside them so that the needles on the gauges like dance in time to the stereo music. Maybe, not sure. I definitely want some VU meters on here somewhere, as well as the excitrons. This piece of furniture, I'm very keen to see what other people think I should do with this. This is a first sort of foray into furniture modification for me. I have been intending to do this for a while. Ever since I moved into this house, I've wanted to build a steampunk TV/stereo unit, and I've definitely found a good starting point here. It's a very solidly made piece, and as I say, please leave anything in the comments about your opinions as to what I should do with this. Do you think this, even though it's reproduction, is worth saving as it is and I shouldn't be modifying this? do you think that I'm not going far enough and I should be adding a lot of cogs and brass and that to the outside of it? I'd be very curious to know what people think I should do here. So this build, by the way, is not going to be a quick build. This is probably, it's not going to be, because it's something for my house. The living room isn't redecorated yet. It needs a ceiling plastering, floor doing. This is not going to be needed or wanted for probably over a year and a half. So the updates on this may be few and far between. It's also obviously not going to be a priority project because I don't need to get it done for an event or a convention or anything like that. So it will always be a back burner project. So don't expect regular updates, but I will give you updates when I can, when I do anything that I think people might be interested in seeing that I'm doing with it. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video.